Stranded at mile marker 313. A Nebraska nightmare. It was supposed to be just another cross-country drive. One of those long, open road stretches where the sky feels endless, the music keeps you awake, and your only companion is the rhythmic hum of tires on asphalt. The sun was dipping low behind the golden fields of Nebraska, throwing long shadows across the highway. My playlist was rolling, the windows were down, and the cool breeze felt like a reward after 8 hours of straight driving. There's a strange kind of peace you get out here. No deadlines, no people, just the road and the promise of somewhere else. But peace has a way of turning into unease when the world shifts, even slightly. All it takes is a sound you weren't expecting, or a silence that goes on too long. In my case, it started with a small jolt and an unmistakable thump thump thump, a flat tire. I cursed under my breath, coasting to the shoulder. Of all places to have car trouble, it had to be in the middle of nowhere, no exit signs in sight, just a lonely stretch of road beneath a purple sky. And there it was, standing a few yards behind me like it had always been there. Mile marker 313. Innocuous. Green. Ordinary. At least it seemed that way at first. All right, stay calm. A flat tire isn't the end of the world. I'd done this before. Open the trunk, grab the jack, get it done. I was already mentally checking into a motel somewhere ahead with a hot shower and cheap coffee in the morning. That thought kept me steady as I unpacked everything, but the tools felt clumsy in my hands. The light was going fast, and this gravel shoulder wasn't exactly ideal. The sign loomed behind me, mile marker 313. It didn't even look right, like it had been repainted recently, too clean compared to the rusted guardrails and weather-beaten road. But I brushed it off. Probably nothing. Focus on the tire, that's what matters. Except the tire iron didn't fit right. It kept slipping on the lug nuts, stripping them slightly each time. I knelt down, wiping sweat from my brow. My flashlight, half charged, flickered as if it was breathing. My frustration was growing. But what really got under my skin was the sign. I could have sworn it was farther away when I pulled over. Now, it was close. Closer than before. No, that couldn't be. I was tired. My eyes were strained. I told myself it was a trick of the fading light, the way shadows bend things at dusk. I went back to the tire, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. Not broken down car kind of off. Reality doesn't feel solid kind of off. I stood up to stretch my legs, to clear my head. When I looked ahead of the car, my breath caught in my throat. The sign was there, again, standing directly in front of me, as if I had walked around in a circle without realizing it. But I hadn't moved more than 10 steps. How? Something was wrong, deeply, horribly wrong. I spun around, heart pounding, trying to rationalize what I was seeing. Maybe there were two identical signs. Maybe I had gotten turned around. Maybe exhaustion had warped my sense of space. But the landscape wasn't helping. It had become unnaturally still. The wheat fields that stretched endlessly on either side of the road were frozen in place. No breeze, no rustle, nothing. There were no cars, not one, not a pair of headlights on the horizon, just a horizon that seemed to recede every time I looked at it. The sky had gone from purple to a deep, starless black. No moon, just darkness. And the sound, or lack thereof, not even the low buzz of insects, no distant hum of the freeway, just my own uneven breathing and the faint whine of tinnitus growing louder in my ears. I pulled out my phone, no signal, of course. I held it above my head, walked in circles, cursed under my breath. Nothing. The screen dimmed, then died. Panic fluttered in my chest, but I tried to control it. Maybe it was just a dead zone. Maybe the tower was too far. But when I turned back toward my car, I stopped cold. The mile marker was there again, right behind it, again. No matter how far I walked, how much I circled, I kept returning to it. Then I noticed something chilling. The number. It didn't say 313 anymore. It now read 312. A joke? A glitch in the brain? I blinked hard, looked again, 312. I backed away slowly, turned, walked in the opposite direction. Still there, 311. And then I knew. It wasn't showing miles. It was showing minutes. I ran. I don't remember deciding to. My legs just moved. I sprinted down the center of the road like the asphalt was about to collapse beneath me. But no matter how far I ran, the marker always showed up. Silent, smug, green numbers glowing faintly under the dead sky. The countdown continued. 310, 309, 308. My lungs burned, my muscles screamed. I had to stop, to rest. But every time I paused, I could hear something. The wind, if it even was wind, had returned. But it was speaking, not with words, but with shape. A low murmur. A chorus of whispers just beneath the edge of comprehension. They didn't want me to stop. They wanted me to watch the numbers fall. I sobbed, screamed, begged for someone to come, for headlights, for anything. I beat my fists against the car, then sat inside, rocking slightly, eyes glued to the mirror. Every few minutes, the sign would appear. Closer. 300, 299, 298. I had no phone, no radio, no clock. The passage of time was no longer marked by minutes, but by that cursed number ticking down behind me like a slow, inevitable death. And then it sped up. The numbers began to fall faster. 250, 245, 239. I slammed the door shut, tried to start the engine. Nothing. The dash lights were dead. The ignition clicked once, then fell silent. I was trapped. In a nightmare I hadn't fallen asleep for. I pressed my forehead against the wheel and whispered to myself, "It's just a dream. You'll wake up. You always do." But this time, there was no waking. When the sign hit 10, I stopped breathing. I sat motionless, paralyzed. Every light inside the car began to glow softly, like eyes opening in the dark. The whispers outside had turned to chants, still indistinct, but rhythmic, purposeful. The windows fogged from the inside, and the air thickened like syrup in my lungs. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then everything went white. I awoke to silence. The engine was purring beneath me. My hands were back on the wheel. The headlights stretched out onto the highway ahead, and the sun was rising in the east. It was morning. Somehow. But the fear hadn't left me. I looked in the rearview mirror. The sign was behind me, fading in the distance. It didn't say 313 anymore. It said 314. Was it real? A breakdown-induced hallucination? Some kind of loop in time and space? I don't have the answers. I only know that mile marker 313 is real, and if you ever find yourself stranded there, get moving, fast. If you enjoyed this eerie slice of midnight madness, hit that subscribe button for more unsettling stories from the dark edges of America's forgotten roads. Have you ever had a terrifying experience on a road trip? Leave it in the comments below. And tell me, what do you think happened at mile marker 313? Would you like the next one expanded in the same format?